This is day 173 of New Zealand's biggest gap year, an epic challenge that Laura and I decided to tackle a couple of years ago in doing 365 activities in 365 days all around New Zealand. Today we are in Dunedin and we're going to take a wildlife cruise around the Otago Peninsula with Monarch. Join me at the end of the video when I'm going to go over all the comments you had the first time we published it. This morning it is a beautiful day right here in Dunedin and a perfect day to get on the water. So we are joining the team from Monarch Wildlife Cruise. We are boarding the MV Monarch, which is a boat as old as 1952. And we are joining the team comprised of Buddy, which is our skipper, and Lisa, which is our nature guide. This wildlife cruise is going to take us all the way out of the Dunedin harbour, passing the Tarawera Head and checking out heaps of wildlife. We're expecting to see heaps of seabirds, sea mammals and even more.
Already on the Dunedin harbour we are seeing so many wildlife. We are seeing some black swans, there's some cormorants, which in New Zealand they are most commonly known as shags. And we are also surprised to find some Cape petrels. Buddy is saying that it is unusual to see them this far into the harbour, so it's a little bit of a spoiler alert as we're really meant to see them later. But before we head into the rougher water, we are being treated to a bit of a snack. Cheers to complimentary hot drinks. We have everything we need for some awesome wildlife viewing on the Monarch. What's really cool about this boat is that there's open viewing areas all the way around the boat, and our favourite spot is to sit right up front where we're raised up a level quite a little bit and we have some grander views of the wildlife around us. On top of that, we have Buddy, who is on the microphone sharing his absolute wealth of knowledge of all the wildlife we're seeing today. And we also have Lisa, who is the official wildlife spotter, making sure that we see everything there is to see, including the New Zealand sea lions.
By now we are kind of familiar with the New Zealand sea lion. It is the rarest species of sea lion in the world, and yet we have successfully seen them almost 5 times so far during our trip in Southland and the Otago regions, which are the two main regions where you can find New Zealand sea lion in the wild. I love seeing New Zealand sea lions in the wild. They are huge, powerful animals. In fact, they are one of the largest animals you can see in New Zealand. I think the only thing bigger than that is a whale. It looks like this sea lion is not going to be welcome on that beach. There is a much bigger male waiting for him to fight him and push him away from there. So we are going to be moving on with it along our path. Which leads us to the Tarawera Head, which is home to a very special species of cormorant here in New Zealand. Those are the Otago shag, and this massive colony is really cool to watch. There is a lot of birds behaving and moving around, and it's just really lively. The Otago shag used to be found all along the east coast of the Southland and of New Zealand, but due to being human, there is just much less territory for them and they are becoming a bit rarer to find in the wild. But that's not the only thing that we're seeing in the Tarawera Head. There is also an awesome seal colony. It really feels like we see seal colony almost every single time we see a rock sticking out of the water somewhere in this area. It's really cool how many seals there is right here. Some of them are playfully playing in the water and a lot of them are lazily lazing on the rocks.
The New Zealand fur seals are so cute. They actually just look like dogs with flippers, and it's really impressive to see them actually walking on those flippers all over the rocks. But anyway, our crew is telling us that we are going to be moving out into the sea a little bit further because now we are on the lookout for some seabirds, which are usually most abundant in the southern oceans around the roaring 40s. But what's really cool about this area of New Zealand is that you can actually see some of those seabirds right near the coast, which is a great way to avoid sailing in the rough seas for 24 hours. We are seeing some more Cape petrels right out here on the open ocean where they're expected to be, and we are on the lookout now for the Royal Albatross. But although we don't see the Royal Albatross just yet, we are seeing some other species of albatross which are actually really impressive. They are super large, and the Royal Albatross is actually the largest seabird in the world. And to get this close to these birds is super impressive.
While Buddy is giving us heaps of information over the microphone, it's Lisa, which is on the deck with us and has a background in nature conservation, which is giving us the most amazing insights. Those birds are spending most of their life at sea, and it's really not unusual for them to never see the ground for over a year. It's quite impressive. After seeing so much wildlife in one afternoon, Buddy turns the boat around and we are now making our way back toward Dunedin city. This tour wasn't really just about the wildlife though. He's taking the time to tell us heaps of stuff about the history of Dunedin, and he's even pointing out the house of his mum. It's pretty cool. All in all, it was an awesome day on the water. Laura and I had a blast. Don't miss out tomorrow's video when we show you even more stuff to do in Dunedin.
So, blue penguins in French is petit penguin bleu.
Les petits penguins bleus.
Les petits penguins bleus. Petit penguin bleu.
Oh. Alright guys, so I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's pretty epic when you get to go so up close and intimate with the local wildlife. I really do love it. So some of the comments that you guys had the first time that we published it. Why in the world says some amazing videos of those seals. Laura must have a good DSLR tripod and a telephoto lens like 100mm or something. Yes, indeed she does. She actually has a 200mm. That's much more helpful to get super up close to the wildlife. That also help us take a lot of really awesome pictures that we use to illustrate NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide. So that's why when we go on those kind of tours, we take thousands and thousands of pictures, so we get to use them to illustrate the travel guide. By the way, it's free of charge, so you may want to check it out. It's NZPocketGuide.com. Another comment was from Chui Sugaricho. Ooh, I think I said that name properly, maybe. I don't know. It says, any personal recommendation of things to do for Dunedin for a family trip for about 1 or 2 days? Yeah, there is a lot of really awesome things to do in Dunedin for 1 or 2 days as a family. And we actually have a video on the channel that covers all that with the local from Dunedin when he gives his tips of things to do. But yeah, exploring the the Otago Peninsula is so amazing. Like, honestly, going to the Albatross Center, just that will absolutely be a highlight of your trip. So that's number one thing I will tell you to do. Alright, so I hope that you find all those videos useful. We make all those videos to help you see more than what just the media is when traveling in New Zealand. So if you find that useful, make sure to hit like and to subscribe to this channel. It's really a big help to us. Plus, if you want to hang out with us and chat about your upcoming trip to New Zealand, feel free to join us during one of our live sessions. It's happening at 8 AM New Zealand time every single Sunday. See you then.